Good afternoon and welcome to Deakin Stadium. It's Women's Grand Final day in the national capital. It's Canberra, Croatia versus Belconnen United for the 6th year in a row. The two preeminent clubs in the nation's capital are here doing battle once again. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator, and joining me on a very blustery balcony today, isn't it, is Sarah West. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks, Russ. I am so excited for this game. You know, you would be forgiven for thinking this is a bit of Groundhog Day, 6 years in a row, but I tell you what, I think we are in for a blockbuster today.
Should be an absolute cracker. Before we start though, I want to say our thanks to the Bar TV camera crews this year. They've been absolutely brilliant out there. The production crew back up in Sydney as well have been superb, and obviously thanks as well to Jeremy McGann, Matt Nicoletti and Lachlan Roberts, who've done most of the WNPL commentary this season, but they've been thoughtful enough to hand over to myself and yourself for joining me today. So thanks to all those guys for their help this season. You will hear from Jeremy shortly. He's going to be interviewing Ahmed Ugal and Nick Brozanic. Quick chat for you guys at home while we wait. But before we do that, I want to set the scene for today and have a look at it, Sarah. And the first news that we've got before we go into the teams a little bit later, the absence of Nicole Jaloka, unavailable today, and Lexia Fauna, who we know ruptured her MCL and ACL. 13 goals that have come away from the Belconnen Blue Devils front line. That is a massive, massive loss.
Oh, it's enormous, Russ. I mean, look, you couldn't think of two more key players for the Blue Devils to be out of this lineup for the final. I really think it's going to make a difference to the game. The only thing that Belconnen have in their favour in that regard is that just about everybody in the Belconnen lineup can score. So just because those two players are the players that predominantly do score, we know that there are plenty of other professional and experienced players that can step up and fill that role.
2-4-1 wins for both these teams in their semi-finals last week. I don't think the scorelines really reflect the matches though, do they? Sounds on paper like it was a bit of a canter, but it was far from that for both teams.
Oh yeah, look, you only need to look at the matchup between Canberra, Croatia and Canberra Olympic last week, and you had the Nicole Begg factor for Canberra Olympic. Now, no matter how much Canberra, Croatia tried to have control of that game, Nicole Begg just kept running at them, and eventually she came away with a goal. So they just couldn't rest, and they couldn't stop defending, and I think that'll be the case for them again today.
Wasn't much between these two sides in the games that they played last season. Wasn't much between the sides when they played this season as well. Two sides packed full of talent. Every reason to suggest we're going to get a really open, exciting football match.
Oh yeah, look, I think it will be a battle of the midfield. You know, I think you've got Michaela Thornton for Belconnen. When she's on her game, Belconnen's on their game. When she controls things from that 6 role, Belconnen are very hard to beat. And of course, Grace Gill. Could you have a more experienced campaigner? She's normally predominantly in that 10 role. She will be again today. She puts those beautiful through balls, able to hold the ball up in the middle of the pitch and control the tempo, and of course play the ball out of tight spaces. So either of those are on their game, or both, we're in for a very exciting match. So
we're going to listen to a chat with Jeremy McGann's going to come and chat with Nick Brozanic and Ahmed Ugal shortly. Just a quick word on the field though. 4 games, been through it last week, couple of games this morning. It's looking fantastic.
This pitch is looking absolutely beautiful. I think we've had quite a few games here this season where it's been raining and miserable and there's been water pooling on the pitch, but this is glorious. This morning we had the reserve grade women's grand final. This afternoon we've had the under 23 men's grand final, and the pitch doesn't look like it's had a game on it today at all. It's really beautiful.
Thanks, and I'll take over from here, interviewing first the Canberra, Croatia coach over here, Nick Brozanic. Nick, congratulations on this season, 9 wins out of 9 games. We're going for 10. How is it to come into a grand final as a favourite?
Yeah, look, it's obviously good. We've had a good campaign so far, like you said, 9 from 9, but this is a grand final, and favourite or not, or underdog or not, I think we all know this is going to be a quality game of football. It's going to be hotly contested, it's going to be physical, and I guess the team that comes with the most physicality and the highest work rate is going to come out on top of this one today.
Did you see an extra intensity coming off the training this week following that win? Did you see the team really building up to that grand final?
Yeah, absolutely. Thursday night's training in particular was really sharp. It was probably the best training session we've had all season. So look, they're ready to go. And yeah, ready to go.
Everything can happen in the grand final. Thank you, Nick. Have a good game.
Thank you.
Now with Ahmed Ugal, the coach for Belconnen United. Ahmed, a very good first season for you as well, making it to the grand final. How is it for you coming in as basically the underdog, because you're facing a team that's been undefeated this season?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough to say they've had an excellent season, haven't dropped a game. But I think from our players, they have a lot of experience. So I think Nick got a spot on underdog or favourite or whatever it is. It's 90 minutes. It's a grand final. It's whoever wins at the end of the 90 is the champion.
Same question for you. Training this week, has it been much more intense than the rest of the season, giving it the building to the grand final?
Yeah, I think you can definitely see the intensity in the players, knowing that the stakes are high and everyone wants to be in the starting team and everyone wants to be able to contribute to the game. So of course the intensity and the quality of training is always high in any finals game.
Thank you very much. Ahmed, have a good game today and good luck for the grand final.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Over back to you, Russ Gibbs and Sarah West. Thank you.
Thanks to Jeremy, and got to say, didn't he look very dapper in that jacket, bringing such a French class to the
You took the words right out of my mouth there, Russ.
He's even got the pocket handkerchief on the go. I'm feeling a bit underdressed here.
Yes, he'd probably call us English dressers knowing a Jeremy McGann, but he's certainly got that French size, fashion style going on today.
He's done a great job this season, and we'll hear from Jeremy a little bit later as well, our post-match. I want to go back to the match that we did here earlier this season. It finished 1-0 to Canberra, Croatia. Brittany Palumbi's with the goal. What do you think the difference was on the day between those two teams? Because in the 90 minutes, there wasn't a lot in it.
No, there really wasn't. And I mean, I just can't go past Brittany Palumbi. What do I think the difference was? I think Brittany Palumbi and that left-hand strike that she has catches just about every team off guard. Now, this is the second season in a row where she's been up right at the top of the top goal scorers. She's the X factor for me, and I think if Belconnen can't control their right-hand side in defence, which is the left-hand side for Britt Palumbi, they're going to be in trouble. Of course, the midfield in both of these teams is strong, and the midfield battle will be one to watch.
What we didn't see much of that we've been used to for Belconnen over the years in that game was a plethora of goal-scoring chances. They were very limited, weren't they, in terms of what they had going forward. And at the top of the broadcast here, we mentioned no Jaloka, no Fauna. What do they need to do to improve on that, in your opinion?
Oh, it's a difficult question. You couldn't think, two players really in hot form missing from this grand final lineup. Look, I think Belconnen will look to control the ball and start their attacks from their backs. They've got an incredibly experienced backline now with Jessie Rashard again back in her natural role at centre back. I think they'll be moving the ball, being patient, looking for the way forward and looking for those little through balls that they can run on and get those shots within the 18-yard box.
So let's look at a couple of the key players today. Let's start with Belconnen United, and of course Michaela Thornton sits in the middle of the park there, brings her energy, and it's fair to say when she's on her game, Belconnen are a different side.
Absolutely. This is Michaela Thornton's 14th season for Belconnen. So, I mean, not only an experienced campaigner, but before that also W League and Young Matildas. She is a player that has this command of the ball. She can get out of tight spaces. Her distribution is unbelievable, and she works really hard in defence. So absolutely, if she's not on her game, and we've seen it a few times this season, we saw it against the Wagga in the first half. She kind of struggled to find her feet. They were very good at making the midfield compact. So, if you were Nick Brosnich, you'd probably be looking to do the same. Try and drown out Michaela Thornton, strangle her a little bit in the midfield, and then you might have that chance to control the midfield battle.
It's noticeable, isn't it, that when Belconnen are struggling, Michaela Thornton is pulled out of position. She does go looking for the ball because she is that person that can enforce her will upon this team. How important is it, in your opinion, today that doesn't happen for her and her team?
Really, really important, because Michaela Thornton's primary role there is to switch the point of attack. If she gets dragged too far to the left or too far to the right, it becomes really, really challenging to switch over to the other side. Now, if they're going to break through a really physical Canberra-Croatia defence, they're going to need to be able to switch quickly, and that is a key role for Michaela Thornton.
Counterpoint to Canberra, Croatia, of course, their key player. You could have picked several, but we've gone for Grace Gill for a number of reasons.
Yeah, another experienced campaigner, 10 seasons for Canberra, Croatia, of course, W League as well, and a Matilda's cap player. Is there any player who is more dominant in that 10 role in our competition than Grace Gill? Probably not. Not only can she control the ball at feet, which is remarkable for a player of her size at nearly 6 foot, she's also really dominant in the air. So, she'll be looking to hold the ball up, find Palumbi on the left side, and of course they've got Sharon Chow on the right, and Grace being dominant in that area will probably give them the edge, in my opinion.
Can find the net as well. We've seen her score some superb goals this season, including a couple at this very venue. Anything within 20-25 yards, especially on a day like this with a little bit of wind, could be a real big blow for Belconnen if she can get within range.
Right, and especially in set pieces. Over the last few seasons we've seen set pieces become more and more important in football, including in women's football. Now, Grace Gill, you can watch, she'll be standing on the edge of the 18-yard box looking for those long-range shots, and she can land them. She can land them in the top corner, from quite a long way out. So I expect her to be threatening in that area.
We're going to go through the team lineups very shortly, but before we do, I want to have a talk about the key moments and the key areas of the park that we think are going to be the point of difference between the sides today. And I want to look at both attacks against both defences, and looking at the lineups that we've got, which I said we will go through in a moment. It's a big matchup between the Canberra FC forwards, the Canberra Crash forwards, I should say, and those Belconnen back four.
Oh, you know, what an experienced back four Belconnen have. Jessie Rashard as one of the centre backs and Karen Clark. Now, Rashard, we expect her to look to a lot of distribution out onto the wing. Karen Clark, we can always expect that she will deliver those accurate long balls and put her team straight onto the attack. But, you know, they're compact, they know what they're doing, they've been doing it for a long time. Canberra Croatia's biggest challenge is going to be finding passing lanes, and I expect they'll probably be forced out wide quite a lot, which is where Palombi and Sharon Chow are going to be very, very important.
So, in your thoughts, you're looking at the teams out there warming up, and I think, what do you think is going to be the difference between the sides today? And for you, who wins?
Oh, okay. This is where you're asking me to put my, my money down. Look, I think the difference will just be Canberra Croatia seem to be in hot form. They seem to be at their peak, and Grace Gill said it in interviews earlier this week. They found their form right at the right time. They've been consistent all season. They've got the momentum. I think Grace Gill, she will control this game. Belconnen have been a little bit less consistent, and without two of their key playmakers, I think that's the critical key factor in this game. I've got my money on Canberra Croatia. It'll be a narrow win, but I think this is their year. Last year's grand final, only narrowly losing that in extra time, is probably going to spur them on as well and give them that added motivation they need.
Nick Brosnich, of course, back for his second grand final. Ahmed Ugal, the coach that Jeremy spoke to, his first one today, so a little bit of nerves for him as well.
This is pretty incredible, isn't it? It's a story of two coaches who, in first grade, are pretty inexperienced. Nick Brosnich, this is only his second year in first grade in charge of Canberra Croatia, and Ahmed, his first. So, what a fantastic experience for two coaches. Now, Nick, he learned some lessons in last year's grand final, and I'm sure that he won't be making any mistakes in this one. Ahmed, he's got some pretty experienced mentorship on his side as well. So, look, congratulations to both of these coaches. This is a remarkable feat for coaches who have been in the competition relatively short times.
We've seen the big man Anthony Jagarinich over there as well today, so he's still there involved in the team. Matt Moore was there as well, lending his support too. For the players, this is a bit of a nervy time, isn't it? There's a lot of experience out there. You mentioned it to me off air that we spoke briefly to Grace Gill as we were walking past to take up our positions here, and you noticed that perhaps she was looking a little bit more nervous than usual.
Absolutely. Grace is 99.9% of the time one of the coolest customers you'll ever meet. She's mature, experienced, and doesn't get terribly nervous, but today she looks nervous, and I just get the sense, Ross, that she thinks this might be the year. I think she believes that this is the year that her team can take this game, but they need to be 100% in their very hottest form today to make that happen.
They will need to be exactly that. Let's take a look at the two teams as they're warming up. If Ben's going to swing it round for everybody to have a look at home at the two teams, and we will take you through the starting lineups as well, so that we know what's happening shortly before kickoff. We'll start with Canberra Croatia. Excuse me. As you'd expect, no changes from the side that won 4-1 in their semi-final, which means Ali Hinson will start in goal. A back four of Lara Agnew, Amy McLaughlin, Rhiannon Fensom and Alice Churchill. Krista Hagan in the holding role, Grace Gill and Jamie Berkeley in front of her. The front three, Sharon Chow, Grace Field and Brittany Palumbi, packed full of goals.
Oh, look at that. Grace Gill, Grace Field, Brittany Palombi and Sharon Chow. 4 players who can absolutely 100% get on the scoring sheet, and all of them have done that this season. And, a back line that includes Alice Churchill and Rhiannon Fensom, who has been a little bit of an X-factor for Canberra Croatia this year. Very, very solid in defence. Surprisingly fast on her feet and able to defend those through balls. But when they're in attack, Canberra Croatia's defence is an attack. Rhiannon Fensom in the air is an absolute threat, and she's the kind of player you don't want to come up against 1v1.
On the bench, Cecilia Martic, if she comes on today, will win her 50th NPL appearance. Jordan Oida, Aisha Rach, Alexa Panagiotopoulos and Christina Grauer-Compos. So plenty of youth on that bench and plenty of game changers.
Absolutely. I wouldn't expect in this game we'd see too many changes. I think both of these coaches know that they need to have their most experienced players on the park. If you're up against any other competition, it might be different, but both of these teams have the ability to win today.
Belconnen United, they make one change from their side that won 4-1, and that's the last week, and that's the absence of Nicole Jalocka, which means a first start of the season for 14-year-old Maya Osmond, who we understand is the first 14-year-old to play a grand final for Belconnen United since Lauren Keir did so back in the day, and she comes into the front line alongside Mia McGovern and Jasmine Maguire. Further back, Jess Giovinazzo is in goal. Vanessa Ryan's moved from centre back to right back, which means Jess Rashard slots into that role. Karen Clark alongside her, Catherine Brown at left back. And the midfield three, Michaela Thornton, Katie Woodman and Sam Price. Big onus on that trio.
Wow, Russ, 14 years old and in an NPLW first grade grand final. I mean, Belconnen is a club that prides itself in its development, and I mean, there's nothing more telling than having a 14-year-old in your starting lineup in a grand final. That's absolutely incredible.
Bench, Jayla Murphy is the goalkeeper, Kira Bobbin, Maria Pachi, Leah Carniga and Nina Zadovac. So plenty of goal scoring on the bench as well, plenty of youngsters too, and I'm sure Ahmed Ugal will unleash some of that if he needs it a little bit later on.
Absolutely, and thinking about the starting lineups, there's one clash that I'm really excited about seeing, and that's that Vanessa Ryan versus Britt Palombi. Vanessa Ryan has been really good this season. The speed on the wing, using those wide spaces for an overload. I think she's going to be a pretty critical area of the field as well.
Belconnen United, of course, have been here and done it plenty of times in the past. As we've said at the top of this show, this is the 6th grand final in succession that Belconnen have met Canberra, Croatia. Canberra, Croatia won one of those. It was a penalty shootout back in 2017. Chantel Jones saving the day on that occasion. A 3-1 win. Marcia Wallace equalising a Jessie Williams goal. Other than that, though, it's been all blue. Will that change this afternoon?
Well, we've talked about my prediction, Russ. What's yours?
I sit on the fence for these 6.
You're Belgian.
That's why I'm not the analyst. Look, the sun's out, the skies are blue, but there is that breeze that seems to always flow across this ground.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever commentated or played or coached at this ground where it hasn't been cold. But it's nice to have a dry game today, and I think that might be a little bit different for these teams as well. This season they've played each other on days where it's been raining, the field's been wet, it's been slippery. I think we're looking at a really fast game in front of us today.
Big day for the match officials as well. Delphina Demoski tasked with taking control of it. Aisha Strutt and Carla Martin are the assistants. Bruno Kell, the 4th official as well. So we're in safe hands.
We absolutely are. Yeah, look, that's. I think this is Dell's 3rd NPLW grand final. I think she's going to look to take control of this game early. There will be a little push and shove between these two teams. There always is, but Dell is an experienced referee and she'll have that in hand.
A fast start may be critical for both of these sides. You would think, as much as it's a cliche, this side that scores first is going to be in the ascendancy.
Oh, absolutely. And how many times this season have we seen Belconnen, if they get points on the board early, they're almost unstoppable. They've lost games we didn't expect them to lose, but games that Canberra, Croatia have struggled in, with opponents that Canberra, Croatia have struggled in, Belconnen have found quite easy because they've been able to get a goal in early. Once they get a goal in, they get on a run. That's what you need to prevent if you're Canberra, Croatia. Do not let Belconnen get on the run.
Canberra, Croatia may well be favourites heading into this one, but you would never write off a Blue Devils team at any stage or at any time, particularly not on the big day.
Oh no, I don't think you could ever write off the Blue Devils. Another interesting thing for the Blue Devils today is Karen Woodman, who's actually already played a game in the reserves grand final. So it'll be interesting to see. That was a 1-0 win to Belconnen. It wasn't an easy game. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes she has in her legs.
We're getting ready to get us underway. As I mentioned, the Blue Devils, 10 grand finals in a row. 8 victories, only the 2 losses. 2012 went down to Woden Valley, and 2017 to Canberra FC. They don't lose very often, Belconnen United. This season they've lost twice, and was talking to Anthony Jagarinic earlier in the week, and I think the last time the Belconnen lost twice, I think we were inscribing results on tablets of stone. It was that long ago.
Yeah, this season the difference for Belconnen seems to be pace. So they lost obviously to Canberra United Academy. It was when they were put under pressure at pace that they seemed to get back cracks in their back line. So that's something that I wonder if Nick's been thinking about. Nick Brozanic with Canberra Croatia, can they put them under the attack quickly? Because Canberra Croatia is a team that likes to sort of control the ball and maybe a little bit of combination play in the midfield. It's not as quick as some other teams, but we know that we can find weaknesses in Belconnen's defence if we can do it quickly.
Will it be red? Will it be blue? We will find out in about 90 minutes. Extra time and penalties if required. Canberra Croatia to get us underway. Been full of goals this season, the home side. In fact, the last time they didn't score in a game was in last year's grand final when they went down 1-0, so they'll be hoping to rectify that this year.
Yeah, Grace Gill was saying this is the first season that they've gone, I think, 9-0, so 9 wins, no draws, no losses, so this is a team in form.
Canberra Croatia looking for the perfect 10. An early possession for Grace Gill. Here's Brittany Palumbi.
Vanessa Ryan winning the early battle with Britt Palumbi.
Fields finds Palumbi. Her goal was a difference in. That's an early chase for Sharon Chow. Karen Clark seeing it back towards Giovinazzo and having to deal with it. Brittany Palumbi is the only Canberra Croatia player, apart from Ivana Galic, to score against Belconnen in their last 6 meetings.
Right.
So there's a bit of pressure, perhaps, on the main goal scorer, but she thrives on that.
Well, in round 7, Britt Palumbi won that winning goal against, scored that winning goal against Belconnen. I'm sure they've had nightmares about her ever since, and this week particularly. If they can stop Britt Palumbi, perhaps they've got this game, but I think she's been so threatening all season.
Here's Chow. Palumbi with 114 NPL goals to her name. Hagen, she'd be loving to get one on the score sheet today. Likes the goal. McLaughlin bringing it forwards. Fields, oh, lovely turn to get in here. First chance for Field, but she's eased off it by Jessie Rashart, and that might just be a snapshot of why Jessie Rashart has been put back into the team at centre-back. It's not over just yet. Might be now from Rashart.
Yeah, really important clearance there from Rashart.
Fensom, who's enjoyed a debut season with the team in red. She's done particularly well this year. Gill.
Yes, Fensom's in the Navy, and Grace Gill was telling me that they're doing everything they can to keep her in Canberra, but there might be an impending posting in order. So this team wants to keep Fensom. Fensom has been a great addition to Canberra Croatia this year.
Surely they can shift the ship to Lake Burley Griffin.
I'm not sure how they're going to sail it in, Russ.
Can lift it in, can't you? Take it by road. Shows my knowledge of the Navy. Here's Berkeley. Going to get away from Price, can't do so. Chance for the Belconnen to shift it forward, and it's a chase on for Mia McGovern, who's been put into that centre forward role, and Ali Hinson decides to come. Probably a good decision as well.
It's been a real box-to-box contest in the early moments of this game, and I think that's going to continue for a little while longer. It might take some time for both of these teams to find their way through at the edge of the 18-yard box. That's where they're both very effective at defending.
McGovern unable to take in Ryan's throw. It's been all around the park this season. Mia McGovern charged with the number 9 role today. Gill heavily involved early on, as we'd expect. Looks to bring it away, and support from Berkeley in midfield. Woodman trying to put her under pressure. A couple of goals last week for Katie Woodman. She's been part of all 10 of Belconnen's grand final that they played in. Michaela Day, now Thornton of course, played in 9. She missed one through injury, so talk about players that have got a bit of experience out there.
On this park, I don't know the figures, Russ, but the collective experience in this match today would be pretty astounding.
Well, Katie Woodman well over 200 NPL games, Michaela Thornton 165, including this one today, so there's 360 odd just in those two.
And Katie Woodman was pretty impactful in the semi-final against Gungahlin last week as well.
He bagged herself a couple of goals, took a tally to 3 for the season.
Absolutely. So not only an experienced hand, but can score goals.
Fields, Clark coming to help her. Rashart knocks it forwards. Here's McGovern. Back to goal, looking for some support. Rashards.
Canberra, Croatia quite happy to sit back and invite Belconnen to come at them in the middle of the field there.
Well, the best of crossfield balls out from Jessie Rashard. Sharon Chow was waiting to pounce. Blue Devils get away with it though, and Catherine Brown, who's another with bags full of experience. Almost a goal every other game for Catherine Brown. 42 and 110 including today's match, which is a good return for a player who's primarily a defender.
Right, not bad for a player that primarily plays in the back line, but she's been pushed up quite high in matches this year, especially when Belconnen expected to win the contest.
Don't mind a goal-scoring left-back to Belconnen. Bronte Pike used to score a bucketful there last season for them. Here's Gill, shadowed by Thornton, looking to swing it in towards Chow. Clark was there, though, just to hook it out towards the stands, in which most of the Belconnen supporters will be sitting.
One of the things that Grace Gill, gives to your team is that she forces you to commit a defender to her at all times, and that takes somebody else out of the contest.
Price beaten to it by Hagan. Little ball off from Field to Hagan again, and Field might have wanted the advantage there, but it is a free kick in a very dangerous position right on the edge of the box, and prime territory for the thunderbolt that might be Brittany Pullenby's left foot.
Oh yeah, who's going to take this? Britt Palombi or Grace Gill? Both of them can hit the ball from there and hit the top corner.
Well, I'm sure this will be a discussion. Will Grace Gill pull rank? I don't think she's going to. Brittany Pullenby has got her eyes set on a grand final goal from here. First test of the afternoon for Jess Giovinazzo, and it might be a difficult one. Gill's behind it. Will it be Pullenby? It will be Pullenby. It's dipping, and it's all the way through. And Brittany Pullenby fires Croatia into an early lead. There was never any doubt once it left that left foot, and the home side and the league champions have the early advantage.
Oh, I think Jess Giovinazzo will be pretty disappointed with that effort. It's with a few stronger fingers in that she might have prevented the goal, but Britt Palombi, oh my God, she scored a hat-trick last week and she's continued in that goal-scoring form.
Giovinazzo, as you mentioned, will think perhaps she should have done a bit better. Maybe saw it a little bit late over that wall. Couldn't keep it out. Immediately, Belconnen looked to respond. Perfect start for Nick Brosnich and his side.
And this is what you need to do against Belconnen. You need to score early. I think Jess Giovinazzo might have a hard time getting her confidence back after that, because the ball was squarely in the middle of her hands and it was just not being strong enough that let it through her fingers.
Fair old amount of pace on the shot, and the keeper couldn't keep it out. Up to her more experienced players now to try and lift her up.
One thing we know about Palombi is that when she scores, her confidence skyrockets. So I'd expect that we might get more than one goal out of Britt Palombi today.
Exactly what Nick Brosnich and his team would have wanted, though. An early goal to settle the nerves as they look for that 10th win in a row, and the most important one, the one that will bring them a trophy that they've been chasing since they last won it in 2017. Long way to go, though. Giovinazzo with the ball at feet.
At the moment, Grace Gill is doing a really good job of tracking Michaela Thornton, and if she can stop her from switching the ball in the middle of the field there, then I think Belconnen are going to be in trouble.
Brittany Pullenby, one of a trio of players who scored hat-tricks this season for Canberra, Croatia.
And what a hat-trick that was last week. She was on the hunt all of the second half.
Wow, Fensom, that's a back pass, surely. Delphina Demosky is not given that. Well, that's incredible. That was surely a back pass. That had to be, didn't it?
Yeah, look. Yeah, I think the Belconnen bench has every reason to be shouting as loud as they are for that call.
It's the most obvious back pass I think I've ever seen.
Rhiannon Fensom was shaking her head at her own pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she was doing. I mean, it's a good job that Ali Hinson was alert to it. There's a fair old whack on that back pass, wasn't there?
Yeah, a little bit of a lapse of concentration, and they'll be wanting to put that out of their heads really quickly.
McLaughlin lifts it forwards. It may be a bit of a brain snap from the officials there. Not sure what they saw or what they thought happened. Here's Rashart stepping out away from the challenge of Pullenby. Yeah, they were saying the hat-trick. Sharon Chow got one against Wagga. Grace Field netted one against Panthers, and Brittany Pullenby got a hat-trick in the same game, and also that one in the semi-final last week. Here's Fensom, who maybe dodged a bullet there, because that would have been in prime territory to have a layoff and a strike.
Oh, yeah, not the way you want to build on an early goal.
Chow forced backwards by Brown.
Yeah, that's a pretty big matchup there. Sharon Chow versus Catherine Brown. Catherine Brown, a very experienced campaigner. Sharon Chow, not so much, but she has shown that she's got goal-scoring ability this season. It'll be interesting to see who wins that battle on the field.
Gill chasing, putting Rashard under pressure, winning the ball as well. Hagan invites Palumbi to go forward, and she's going to get in behind here, Brittany Palumbi, and she'll have the pace to get away. Ryan's back there. Palumbi fires it goalwards, and Giovinazzo strongly behind this one, and that'll be a bit of a confidence boost for the goalkeeper.
That was a nice little chip pass there from Krista Hagan in the middle of the field for Canberra, Croatia, and we know Britt Palumbi can score from there with her left foot.
Brown lifts it down the field. Churchill will get there. Hagan. Berkeley. Back to Fensom. Chow.
You watch Mia McGovern's putting quite a lot of pressure on Rhiannon Fensom at the moment, and I think she senses a little bit of that shaky pass back, and maybe this is the time to pounce while that confidence is a little bit low.
Lara Agnew with a throw. She got herself into the team today ahead of Cecilia Martic. Must have been a difficult call for Nick Brosnich. Both very good players.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have as a coach.
Field looking to inject a bit of pace to get away from Brown and swing something into the area. Brown was back helping out, and I think it stayed in play. Giovinazzo lifts it out, and it will be a throw to Canberra, Croatia, who are on the front foot in more ways than one here. They lead 1-0. Brittany Palumbi's early goal, direct from the free kick.
I think both goalkeepers have a right to be demanding more of their backlines at the moment. The ball's been in both 18-yard boxes, probably more than either of them would have liked.
Field swings it in, but it's going to be easy for Giovinazzo. She's been ever present this year, Jess Giovinazzo in the goal. Woodman finds Rashart. Bit of room for Jessie Rashard to try and pick a pass. Price. Ryan. Assessing the options. Thornton. Quite opening for Michaela Thornton in terms of possession. Clark. Always the fulcrum looking for that ball forward, and she's looking for Thornton. Fensom was there. Slip from Agnew might invite Brown forward. There's a chance for Brown, and the free kick has been given. I think the flag has gone up for offside. A couple of players slipping early on. It might be a bit greasy on the surface.
Yeah, it was certainly raining pretty heavy here in Canberra yesterday, so the water doesn't seem to drain off this pitch terribly well. Just sits there on the top. It's interesting to see the two Graces on for Canberra, Croatia, Grace Gill and Grace Field, just interchangeable in that 9 role. At the moment, Grace Gill pushing high, playing 9, looking for the ball over the top. Grace Field dropped back into the 10 role, and she's on the ball now.
Little message from Jeremy McGann, who's over on the touchline where the crowds are. He said that when he spoke to Michaela Thornton earlier in the week, one of her cries out to the players with no fouls around the box, and we've seen exactly why.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you absolutely can't be. You just can't give Grace Gill or Brittany Palumbi free kicks anywhere near the edge of the 18-yard box. They're just too dangerous.
Amy McLaughlin's conceded one here for a foul on Mia McGovern. Chance for Karen Clark to lift this into the penalty area, and the Blue Devils to perhaps launch their first sustained attack of the half. Clark over it. 5 shirts becoming 6 on the back post. Brown making it 7. Clark's gone for goal herself. It's dipping.
Ooh.
And Hinson got a finger on it.
Almost an identical situation as the goal up the other end. Soft fingers, ball went through the fingers. Luckily it was just a little bit off target.
Hugely ambitious effort from Karen Clark from that kind of range, but there is a reason she's got 51 goals to her name.
If there's anything you can be sure of, it's a Karen Clark long ball. We see it from her many, many times in any given game.
Catherine Brown with the corner. Plenty of Blue Devil shirts in the penalty area. Rashart, an obvious target if they can find her. Swung in towards there. Rashart did win the header, but couldn't put it goalwards. Quite opening for the Belconnen front 3, particularly Jazz Maguire. We haven't mentioned her much at all in the first 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, Jazz Maguire's been hanging a little bit back, looking to win the ball on this right-hand side over here. She's been a little bit up and down this season. Some games she's been really on and finding the back of the net. Others she's been a little bit quiet.
Well, hopefully She's not quiet because it was her 21st birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Jazz Maguire.
I'm assuming she didn't go out and celebrate.
Jazz Maguire, she's got a really clever football head, and she's done her coaching licence actually, Jazz. So, you know, she thinks with that academic side of football as well.
I'm sure she'll make up for it this evening. She'll be hoping that she's got a grand final winners medal around her neck.
It'll be interesting actually to see whether Belconnen starts to panic as we approach the second half of the first half. You know, they're used to getting goals in early, although we do know they are a team capable of coming back.
They stole it here last year. Caitlin Munoz in extra time. We had to wait a long time for a goal last year. We didn't have to wait quite so long this year, 6 minutes.
And that's a player we haven't got on the field, and she's definitely a game changer.
It's her penalty that won the Federation Cup semi-final here last year as well, in an outstanding match that I was lucky enough to commentate on at this venue. Palumbi back to goal, back to Fensom.
Jazz Maguire did a really good job then of stopping Alice Churchill receiving the ball wide on the left-hand side.
Fensom finds Agnew. Tried to squeeze it down the line, but there was no room there whatsoever. 6 o'clock tonight is the men's NPL Grand Final. You can join myself and Frank Cation. No wonder, I think it'll be even colder on this exact spot. It's Canberra, Croatia versus Gungahlin United, the men's NPL. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, 11:15 for Woden Western versus Monero Panthers in the 5th versus 8th Pace Championship Series final, bottom four final playoff here back at Deakin Stadium as well.
And by that time, Russ, you may have thought out after tonight's game.
Maybe, wouldn't put too much credibility on it. Might not be. That's a free kick. A little push by Maguire on McLaughlin. Next weekend's NPL 2 Grand Final coverage live on Bar TV as well. Where and when to be decided. The semi-finals today and tomorrow in that one. So all pointy end of the season, but still bags of football to come.
Yeah, look, there's one thing that I've said to Jeremy McGann this season is what a game changer these live streams are for players and coaches. You know, the ability to go home and watch your game back without having to mess around with organising people to record it. You know, it's a game changer for a coach.
Agnew under a bit of pressure from Osmonds. Woodman, Clark sends it forward. One for McGovern to chase. Fensom's across there to make it difficult and held up a little bit in the wind there.
Yes,
sorry.
Sorry,
I was going to say big pressure on Maya Osmond at 14 years old to come in for Nicole Jalocka, isn't there? I don't know what you were doing at 14, but I was probably, sitting at home in the afternoon, maybe watching a bit of TV.
Admittedly, I was playing first grade women's football, which was the equivalent of NPL back then, Russ, but I can tell you the quality of the competition, the quality of women's football has increased significantly since then. I often ask if I would have been anywhere near good enough in this day and age.
Full of athletes these days, isn't it? Seems to be. You need to be able to run 100 metres in 10 seconds.
Yeah, the game has gotten significantly faster, and athleticism is something you can't discount. You know, it used to be that if you were good with ball at feet, you could handle yourself, but now you do need a bit of speed.
Gill swings it in. Rashard nods it away, helped out by Thornton. Fields there. I lucky to do the 100 metres in 10 minutes these days. Churchill's
What's 100 metres?
tries to put Palumbi in. Ryan's there. Under pressure from the goal scorer, Vanessa Ryan, and Palumbi's robbed her of possession. Ryan snapping back. It's going to come towards Churchill, but Maguire helped out, and that's a bit of a slice.
Oh, well, Palumbi's really winning that battle between her and Vanessa Ryan at the moment. I think Ryan would have been surprised to see the ball hold up so much in the corner of the field there.
McLaughlin, Gill, Hagan. Blue Devils haven't really been able to string together more than 2 or 3 meaningful passes in the opening 20 minutes.
No, Sam Price is doing a pretty good job for Belconnen, though, at stopping Krista Hagan from switching the play.
Thornton made a great run down the middle, and here's a chance for Mia McGovern with a strike. He's just gone wide, but did the whistle go? Surely it should have. It looked like there was a foul on Grace Gill.
Very surprised not to see that called as a free kick.
It's not been given either, so maybe it would have counted if McGovern had scored. It looked like a real clear and obvious foul by Thornton.
I'll be watching that one back a little bit later.
We're a long way away from it, but looked like a shirt pull.
Yeah, nothing these two experienced players aren't used to.
Chow under pressure from Brown, free kick. Little nibble at the heels from Catherine Brown.
Yeah, there's been a few little, silly battles in the middle of the field by Belconnen. I get the sense that they're just trying to up the physicality just to try and push the side forward.
Fensom launches it. Clark with a header. Agnew could only knock it back towards her own goal. McGovern using her strength, but Fensom in front.
Well controlled there by McGovern. There was a few calls of handball. Might have rolled off her shoulder.
There's Churchill sliding into the channel, and Rashart back to tidy up with Giovinazzo there. A couple of results from this morning in the women's reserves. Belconnen United 1, Woden Western FC 0. Men's under-23 grand final, Belconnen United 4, Monero Panthers 1. So good day for the Blue Devils so far, 2 from 2. Bit of work to do for them to make it 3 from 3.
Really, really good day, and that's a pretty good win for Belconnen in the reserve grade grand final against a very experienced Woden Western side.
Fenson. Fields made the run and has it under possession. Berkeley in field, and that's a free kick. Late challenge on Grace Field, a chance for Canberra Croatia to put some numbers forward.
Grace Gill having a little bit of a chat there to the referee. The whistle's getting a bit of a workout.
I think it might be frustration more than anything from Belconnen, who really haven't got going at the moment. Krista Hagen over the free kick. Not a huge amount to aim for. And Rashart has half the field to herself to just nod that clear.
Yeah, if you're gonna kick the long ball to anyone, it's not Jessie Rashart you want to find on the other team.
Hagen lifting it down towards field. Clark's back there and hooks it back over her head, concedes the throw. Well, they look confident, Canberra Croatia, as you would expect from a team that's won 9 from 9. Hinson's come a long way from home. Don't mind that from your goalkeeper if they make a decision early, as long as they make it and stick to that decision.
Yeah, although I can't help but think they would have had a better result then if she'd trusted Rhiannon Fenson with the pass back.
She can pick it up, can't she?
Cheeky.
Brown's ball forward, rather aimless. It'll roll out of play. This is live Women's National Premier League Grand Final from Canberra on Bar TV Sports, home of grassroots football in Australia. Enjoying what we're seeing so far. Brittany Palumbi's free kick, the difference. The 26th goal that Chalfield and Palumbi, the front three, have knotted between them in 10 matches this year.
Geez, that recruitment by Nick Brosnich, what a forward line. That's really remarkable.
He's brought in Grace Field this year, and he brought in Rhiannon Fensom, and both of them really big cogs and parts of this machine that's clicking on again.
Both of them have scored goals too, including Fensom from that centre-back role, but she's very threatening in corners.
Rashard tries to squeeze it through, Woodman in with a tackle. Maguire trying to get involved, and she's got there. It's a good challenge from Churchill. Couldn't pick out a red shirt though, and Clark can send it back with that trademark ball across field. Agnew sticks out a leg, and Canberra Croatia will look to break. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment.
Yeah, Maya Osmond's just not looking quite as confident, and that's something that the 14-year-old will have to build, and hopefully she can do that as this game progresses.
Yeah, she's come off the bench 4 times this season, but it's a different scenario, isn't it? Starting a game to being called upon to play the last 15-20 minutes or whatever it might have been.
Absolutely, and starting in a grand final. I mean, that's a pressure situation, especially when you're playing against the informed side.
And you wonder how late she got the call. I mean, Nicole Jalocca, you would have thought would have been an obvious selection, unavailable today. But yeah, it might have been a really late one for her.
I don't know Maya Osmond, but I can imagine there might have been a little bit of a squeal involved. It's a pretty exciting decision for her.
Thornton snapping into the tackle not once but twice, and then takes on Churchill as well. Ball ricochets for Berkeley, and a free kick against Michaela Thornton. Butter wouldn't melt, would it? The look of innocence on her face.
What?
Palumbi over the free kick. Probably a bit too far out to try one from here. Wouldn't put it past her though. Surely she's going to look for Grace Gill.
Watch Grace. Yeah, Grace Gill peeling off that line. There she goes.
Heading towards field. Little flick. Brown high into the air. Hagen underneath it. Clips it back into the danger area. Ryan needs to be careful. Churchill was hunting for a mistake. Berkeley. Churchill rolls Ryan. Chance for her to lift something into the penalty area. Couldn't pick out the run of field. Nicely done by Maguire as well. And a chance for McGovern to chase again. McLaughlin back and McGovern eating up the yards. And Fenson's come and so's Hinson. Again, a long way out, Hinson.
Yeah, I think if she keeps coming out like that, it's eventually going to cost her. That was a nice ball there by Jazz Maguire to Mia McGovern.
Ryan to Woodman. Only found field. Berkeley. Chow on the overlap Agnew, and that's unfortunate. It's come off her heel. Osmond tracking back. Jamie Berkeley in the middle of the park is just calmness personified, isn't she? The lovely player when she gets to her feet and can pass the ball around.
Absolutely, the control of the ball. You know, they say master the ball, master the game, and she's looked really strong this season. And the wind here has picked up quite a lot behind us, Russ. That's going to make a difference in these long balls. I see Karen Woodman stepping up to take another one.
Clark lifts it forward. It's off the head of Fensom. This might be problems for Hinson. McGovern challenge, it's loose for Price, and she couldn't get enough on it. Hinton less than comfortable under that one.
Not surprised to see Rhiannon Fensom winning that one in the air, but yes, you want your goalkeeper to be putting that firmly in her hands in a challenge like that. She was lucky to recoup the second ball.
You can see the problems though when Karen Clark sends that forward. The wind is causing all sorts of issues.
Absolutely, the ball would have been moving all over the place, and I think Canberra Croatia are going to want Belconnen to be playing on the ground for the rest of this match.
Fensom looking for Agnew, hugging the touchline. Brown was in the way. McGovern lifts it towards Maguire. It's nodded down, but it's only going to come as far as Catherine Brown. First touch was just a little bit too heavy. It was a promising moment. She's furious with herself that her touch let her down.
Yes, absolutely. That wasn't the best little clearance I've ever seen from Alice Churchill across the face of goal. I'm sure she'll be kicking herself about that one.
Couldn't have put it any better if she was playing for the Blue Devils.
What an assist that would have been.
Croatia trying to play it out from the back, as they have done for most of the season. Fields, who's been busy in the opening half an hour. Coming deep to collect. Hagen. Another who's just quietly gone about her business. Her 69th match this afternoon.
Yeah, you can see here Catherine Brown is making those wraparound runs on the left-hand side quite a lot, and I wonder if that's deliberate because of the experience of Maya Osmond.
Ryan wins the header at the expense of a throw. Capital Football got an exemption to open up the ground to a few more spectators today, which is nice. So we've got a few numbers in, which makes a difference.
Yeah, I think telling people they have to choose a parent is always a difficult thing to do, but it's fantastic. More people can be here in the grounds. Although looking at some interviews this week, Michaela Thornton said that not only did she think it was nice to be the underdog for a change, maybe that's taking a little bit of pressure off, but she said it might be good for this team to have less people in the stands. Clearly Belconnen feeling just that little bit of pressure that they probably haven't in previous years.
Here's Thornton, first time we've seen her stretch her legs, and looking for Osman, the youngster, trying to get in behind here. Might be in, but Lara Agnew matched her stride for stride. Corner though for the Blue Devils, and chance again for Rashard and Clark to jog forward and add to the numbers.
Yeah, that looked a little bit like an age factor creeping in there with Osman. She kind of lost that shoulder-to-shoulder battle. She's probably not as strong as some of these more mature players, but she certainly had the speed.
Brown to deliver. Saw what happened from the free kick with the wing caught. It caused a bit of confusion, a bit of havoc in the penalty area. Can Brown do the same?
Still looks like she's going for the outswinger.
Lifts it in towards the far post. Clark the target. Clark won it. Couldn't direct it onto goal, despite some of the cheers from the Belconnen fans who may have thought that had snuck in.
Yeah, given this wind, I'm surprised to see any teams looking for an outswinger on the corners.
I think it was an outswinger that ends up as an inswinger because of the wind.
It was pretty flat, really.
Agnew looks for Chow. Pressure on, and it's a good bit of defending from the youngsters who's back there helping out. Coming up to half an hour gone. Brittany Palumbi's free kick the difference. Clark thumps that forward. Fenton with a big header against McGovern. Not once but twice.
Yeah, it takes a brave player to go in the air head-to-head with Rhiannon Fenton, nicknamed Killer.
Price hooks it over her shoulder. Hagan picks up the pieces. Forced to go backwards. Hinson looks for McLaughlin. Happy to use the width of Deakin Stadium, Canberra, Croatia. Then McLaughlin goes down the middle, but only picks out Michaela Thornton. Ryan Thornton tries to brush away Grace Gill. It's been a good battle, that one already.
Absolutely. Michaela Thornton winning that shoulder to shoulder with Grace Gill there, but Palombi just in the right place at the right time to retrieve.
Wants the throw, gets the throw. Grace Gill just urging a little bit of calm from her team. It's been a good start for them. It's exactly what they would have hoped for when they went to bed last night.
Yeah, although I've got to say, a 1-0 scoreline against Belconnen isn't comfortable enough, and I think Canberra Croatia will be desperately wanting to put another one in the back of the net before they go into the dressing sheds at half-time.
Bit loose from McGovern. Berkeley. Chance for her to drive at the heart of the Belconnen defence and get a shot away as well, and Jamie Berkeley unable to really test Jess Giovinazzo, but just a snapshot of what she can offer from that midfield role.
Belconnen's backline, the two experienced heads of Jessie Rashard and Karen Clark, are doing a really good job at the moment of forcing Canberra Croatia to take shots from further out.
McGovern round the corner towards Maguire. Tries to get in ahead of Churchill.
Beautiful turn by Churchill, unfortunately not finding her man.
Ryan to McGovern. It's comfortable with the back to goal. Thornton. Still touch to take it away from field. Clark looking for options ahead of her. That's a bit static though. Big line of Blue Devil shirts, no one coming to get.
Right, you can't help but feeling though that the run of play has changed a little bit. Just in the last 5 minutes, Belconnen have sort of taken control of this game.
Clark lifts it forward. Fensom's got to watch the bounce. Grace Gill helping out defensively. Clark thunders through to win the header. It's going to fall for McGovern. Blue Devils starting to come into it as an attacking threat, starting to turn a bit more possession into meaningful territory. Churchill just rams it down the park. She's happy to let her defence reorganise. Rashard, Thornton. This is what we talked about pre-game. Michaela Thornton going looking for the ball, looking to try and influence things.
Absolutely, and she's sort of being forced to at the moment. Canberra Croatia have set a really effective mid-block. They're doing everything that you can to sort of park the bus and not let Belconnen put points on the board before the half-time break.
Saw Nick Brosnich before. He dressed up from his estate agent work. He was in a suit and everything. He looked really dapper. He's swapped it for the tracksuit. Must be cold because he's rolled down the tracksuit.
I was going to say he just loves those three-quarter pants, but I can't see his ankles today, which is a little bit strange.
It's because of the weather. Both coaches, young and up and coming in at the nation's capital, and doing a good job with the two preeminent sides, and it was good to see this year that Canberra Olympic and Gungahlin pushed these two to the very limits, and Canberra United Academy also had some very good results as well.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see this competition getting better and better every year, and that's demonstrated by how many teams are testing these top two.
It didn't have it all their own way like they normally do. Still some big results from Belconnen though. When they get in their groove, they're very hard to stop when they've got their goals flying through them. Credit to Wagga City as well. They only went down 4-3 to Canberra Croatia earlier in the season. Sharon Chow with all 4 goals that day.
Yeah, Sam Gray's doing a fantastic job with the program in Wagga, and they really put Canberra Croatia on notice in that game. I think that was the scare Canberra Croatia needed. But of course, Canberra Croatia, they've done a really good job at just hitting their peak at the right moment. Haven't dropped a game, so they've won. They've got the points where it counted. But in a year where we've only had 9 rounds and it's been quite disrupted. We started a pre-season. We had a COVID break.
Thornton into the area, goes down right on the edge of the box. Free kick dangerous position, this.
Very dangerous. But yeah, you know, knowing when to time that sort of hitting your peak, it's been quite difficult this year, and they've done a good job of it, Canberra, Croatia.
Conceded 6 goals in rounds 2 and 3. Have only conceded 3 in the 6 games since then. They are on red alert here, though, as Michaela Thornton fancies this right on the edge of the penalty area. Really good opportunity as we enter the final 10 minutes of the half. Catherine Brown's coming out to have a chat as well with her left foot, asking if maybe she can have a blast at goal. She has got thunder in those shoes as well, so we will see. Will it be the right foot of Thornton? Will it be the left of Brown? Hinson ready and waiting. It's Thornton over it. It's Brown curling it. It's always a bit too high.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be looking to put my high ball over Grace Gill there. Probably the tallest player on the park at the moment, and I'd kind of force the ball a little bit high. Had a nice curl on it, though.
Some turnaround, though. We were talking about the goals. They did concede 3 against Wagga City, 3 against Olympic, and those 6 goals in the first 3 games after narrowly beating Woden Western 1-0. We were asking questions about this Canberra Croatia side. Since then, though, you know, they beat Canberra Academy 3-1, 10-0 against Panthers, 1-0 win over Belco, 4-0 over Tuggeranong, 3-1 over Gungahlin, and the 4-1 semi-final win. They tidied it up defensively, and they got it right at the other end.
Right, Russ, and that game against Woden Western in round 1, that was a lucky win. They only just got that, and it was an own goal that secured them the victory. So I think that was a bit of a scare, and then disappointing to see Woden Western a little bit inconsistent, because they were another team contesting for a top 4 spot last year.
Unbelievably, officially that went down as a Grace Gill goal in round 1. It was her shot that came back off the post and hit someone on the shin, didn't it?
It certainly did.
It was definitely an own goal from where we were stood, but it was marked down officially on the card as a Grace Gill one, and she wasn't going to complain.
No, Grace is a competitor. Of course she's going to take that one, absolutely.
Threatened to take it away from her, and yeah, I won't say what she wrote in her text message to me.
No, please do.
She's usually very complimentary. Typical forward, though. Always like to score the goals, and that's important. Fensom goes back to Hinson.
Ooh.
Bit short, but Hinson got there, and a little bit of an apology, I think, from Rhiannon Fensom.
This is the shakiest I've seen Rhiannon Fensom all season. She's made a few mistakes now. Most of them have been in that pass back to goalkeeper, and she'll need to go into the dressing sheds and just relax, settle down. I think nerves might be a factor. She's a player that's normally absolutely solid that you can rely on in the back.
Strange what the big occasion can do to you mentally. 8.5 minutes to the break. Belconnen just slightly turning the screw, trying to get back into this. Here's Osmond under pressure from Chow. Not much behind her, so lovely little piece of trickery from Osmond. Gets past one on the run and tried to find Woodman, but Hagan was in the way.
Well done to the 14-year-old beating Sharon Chow there. That was a nice passage of play, and I can see why she's been brought into this lineup today.
Confidence booster for her. Hagan back to Fensom. Invites Hinson to play the 1-2. Berkeley. Well, the response to going a goal down early on from Belconnen has been good, but then we expected nothing less. Thornton. Ryan's made the run. If you can slide her in behind, that's where it's gone. Churchill came across, read it quite well, and came away with the ball. Palumbi lifts it forward. Not the kind of ball that Grace Gill usually wants, but she's putting the pressure on Giovinazzo.
Yes,
did well.
By parking the bus here in defence, Canberra Croatia are leaving themselves with not many options when they do win the ball forward.
Dangerous thing to invite Belconnen onto you. Brown. McGovern, lovely take in midfield, and then she slides it here to Ryan. His touch though was heavy, and Palumbi seizes on the error. Can't make it count. Rashard. Gill tracking back. Rashard going through the gears, and
well done, Alice Churchill.
Good tackle from the left back. 189th match today, Alice Churchill. So all being equal, if she goes round again next year, she'll bring up the big 200s. Well over 200 when you count cup competitions already, of course. Good servant to this club. McGovern's rode the challenge here. Fires it across. Osmond's there. Chance obviously for Woodman. And she skies it wide. Thought the youngster might have had a pop there.
Right, a player with a little bit more experience and confidence might have tried to receive that on the back foot and have a shot on goal, but going for the play backwards to go forwards.
Sticky period for Canberra, Croatia, as they hold on to this 1-0 lead. Hinson's not had too much to do in terms of saves, but the pressure's been mounting. Ryan with the throw. Churchill with the win in the air. Field battling with Thornton, who's found the gap and looks for Catherine Brown, who won't be able to keep that in play.
A little bit too much on that.
It's fairly flown by this half, isn't it?
It really has. Hey, look, one thing Canberra, Croatia are doing really well is defending from one side of the pitch and then sliding across and defending on the other side. Belconnen can be really dangerous if they can create wide overloads, and we've seen that a lot this season with Vanessa Ryan. And Canberra, Croatia's slide in defence has kind of denied that from happening, although here we see it right now.
Good ball wide, McGovern. Ryan can keep it in play, and a chance if she can deliver something from out wide. Sweeps it in, but couldn't wrap her foot quite around it.
It's always ironic, isn't it, when you say that's not happening and then it happens right in front of you?
It's usually the other way around when you're up in the commentary box, Sarah. You praise someone for doing something and then they make an absolute meal of it. The old commentator's curse, they call it.
Yeah.
Fensom, inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. NPL Women's Grand Final here in Canberra. The Reds edge the Blues. Brittany Pullenby's goal. The difference between the two sides in what's been a fisty contested match so far. Referees are trying to let it flow as much as they can. Had a very niggly opening 10-15 minutes, didn't we, with the free kicks and whistles seemed to go quite a lot, but it's calmed down a little since then.
Yeah, I think it's calmed down because Canberra, Croatia haven't been on the front foot quite as much. They've taken the pressure off Belconnen a little bit.
They've done well there, Rashart and Ryan, to work their way out of a bit of a pickle. And then giving it away to Churchill. Much short as well. Invited the challenge from Ryan on field. Pass is just not going to the intended target.
No, both teams would be unhappy at how much their left and right forwards have had to drop back and defend. It just means that when they do win the ball, there's not many options forward.
McLaughlin slides it forwards to Palumbi, helps it on its way to Gill. Thornton, who was in front of her, and there's a challenge right on the edge of the box. Big shout there. Ryan and Palumbi are coming together, and Vanessa Ryan seems to have come off worse.
Absolutely. I think that was a good call by Del Demoski, the referee there. Both players shoulder to shoulder. It was just a little bit of an imbalanced situation. I don't think either player meant to bring the other down.
Just a coming together of bodies. In the final 4 minutes, a throw. Alice Churchill for Croatia. Grace Gill looking for an opening. Price read her intentions.
Well done, Price.
Maguire from deep. And again, can't get out at the moment. Ryan might help them out now and does so with an astute little ball to Michaela Day. Or Thornton, as she is now.
Yes, yeah. It's very easy to get into that trap. And of course on Sports TG, where we get all of our stats and information, she's still there as Michaela Day.
Rush Utz, formerly Pritchard. Good ball as well, looking for Maguire, but it's going to roll away from her on this surface. Hasn't been able to influence the first 45 minutes as much as she would have liked, Jasmine Maguire.
No.
Not her fault, though, of course. Haven't quite got her into position.
I think she's been getting dragged back to be in a more of a defensive position, and she's more threatening when she can get those little through balls on the wing.
Clipped forward by Hagan to Gill. Nice touch to try and roll Rashart, but Jess Rashart was there, and Gill clips the ankles. Unintentionally, free kick.
Good to get a glimpse of Grace Gill next to Jessie Rashard. I think maybe it's the hair that wins the height battle there on Jessie Rashard, but both players almost 6 foot tall.
Clark with the free kick. Rams it forward into a danger area. It's come off the head of McLaughlin. McGovern nods it down. Hagan half away. Maguire to McGovern. Churchill fully away. Gill finds Field. Pocket of space for Field to perhaps work into. coming up to the last 90 seconds of the first half. Grace Gill looking for the ball down the gap towards Berkeley. Brown was in the way, and she's presented it straight back to Alice Churchill, who goes past Vanessa Ryan into the area, and Rashart comes across, and it will be a corner in the final minutes of the first half, and this will be a glorious time to double your lead.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess there's never a bad time.
And you can see by the corner flag there, the wind is blowing in probably the perfect direction for Canberra, Croatia. Little bit of a breeze across the field. It's going to carry the ball. I would be looking at Rhiannon Fensom there in the furthest position on the side of the 18-yard box. They so often look for her head in these corner kicks.
Fensom, Field, Gill, Churchill, the targets in the penalty area. Chow's short if it comes that way. Krista Hagen entrusted with the corner kick. They've not put too many forwards here, Canberra, Croatia. Can Hagen pick out one of their tools inside the box? Fools us all by going us back to Berkeley. Shooting chance for Jamie Berkeley. Fizzes it goalwards, and Giovinazzo saves. It's loose for Chow.
Oh.
Double save from the goalkeeper. It's still not loose. The flag goes up anyway. And Jess Giovinazzo, if she was culpable for the first goal, has made up for it there.
Absolutely. She really put her body on the line for her team there. I was certain Sharon Chow was going to be in with a goal. She had not one chances but two, almost three, although you could have called that last one, if not offside, a handball.
Into stoppage time. Canberra, Croatia denied a 2-goal lead by a good double save from Jess Giovinazzo. Chow. Clark battling with Grace Gill. And coming away with a free kick. Is there one last chance for the Blue Devils before we have a 15-minute or so break? Might be a bit less. We seem to be getting less these days when the players not being able to go in the changing rooms.
Yeah, it's quite a long time to be standing in the middle of the field on a cold day.
Lifted forward by Clark. Maguire was the target. Churchill won it. Woodman sends it back. Churchill wins it again. Ryan, formerly of Canberra, Croatia, of course. Woodman. Ryan. Palumbi not giving him a moment's peace. Hagen helping out as well, and no foul. And the ball stays in play. Palumbi finds Gill. Palumbi goes for the return. Rashart intercepts. Would have been another controversial one, that one perhaps. Brown, last chance for her to smash it forward. And Churchill brings the half to an end, a half in which Canberra, Croatia started brightly and took the lead, but then Belconnen started to turn the screw slightly. Not much for Ali Hinson to do in terms of goalkeeping, but still plenty for Ahmed Ugal to be happy with and what he's seen in the first half.
Yeah, look, I think both teams have certainly had chances, you can't deny. Belconnen will be very happy to be, unhappy to be going into half-time without points on the board. Canberra, Croatia have done a really good job, but there was a period, probably of about 20 minutes in that first half, where they seemed pretty happy to just sit back and defend. They set that mid-block and they were inviting Belconnen to come at them. Maybe that's because their backline was feeling under quite a lot of pressure. We saw Rhiannon Fenton there with some mistakes going back to goalkeeper. So they took the time, they settled themselves in a mid-block, and then towards the end of that first half, they turned the engine back on and they went and they looked for some scoring chances. Unlucky not to score there right at the end.
Well, it may have been an error by Jess Giovinazzo, but take nothing away from the power in the strike from Brittany Palumbi from the free kick, which separates the two sides at half-time here at Deakin Stadium in the Women's National Premier League Grand Final. It was Palumbi's 6-minute free kick that found its way past the goalkeeper, which gives Nick Brosnich and his team the advantage at the interval. It's Canberra, Croatia 1, Belconnen United 0. Welcome back to Deakin Stadium. A cold Deakin Stadium now. The sun's gone behind the clouds behind us. The temperature's plummeted a few degrees. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Sarah West with me for the second half. A second half in which Belconnen United have much to do. They're 1-0 down. Brittany Palumbi's goal at the interval. And it's hard to say that Canberra Croatia don't deserve that, because they've had 5 shots on target to 1 and 5-3 overall. So they are dominating the stats, but less possession as well.
Absolutely. Look, Canberra Croatia have carried in the same form that they've had all throughout the season. But Belconnen, if there's any team in this competition that you can't discount coming back, it's Belconnen. And I think they're going to turn up the burners now, and we're going to see a real match in this second half.
Tell you what, I wish we could turn up the burners on this commentary gantry, because it is now very cold indeed.
Must be about sub 5 degrees up here in the commentary box, Russ.
Clark's early ball forward, looks for McGovern, tries her luck, drop away Harmsby a bit. A little bit jealous of the benches over there. They've got some nice looking blankets from this distance.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed Bar TV haven't put the heaters up here, Russ. It's pretty cold.
Not as disappointed as I was when I saw Ben the cameraman with his steak sandwich. He didn't bring us anything, although to be fair, he has been here since about 8 a.m.
Yeah, steak sandwich isn't really a match day kind of food for me. Definitely not when you're at Canberra, Croatia.
Well, I'll go for a Javapi roll afterwards. A bit rude not to.
Now you're talking.
Plenty of football action to come, of course. Brown with the throw. McGovern. Agnew got her foot in. Osmond looks to slide McGovern in, and she goes shoulder to shoulder with Fensom, who shows her strength to come away with it. But McGovern on the floor tried to win it back. Fields. Hagen looked for Gill. It's going to run away for her. Rushart. Ryan under pressure from Brittany Palumbi. And she's given herself plenty to do to chase that one.
Yeah, look, you can see that Canberra Croatia have come out here to put a statement on this game. They're pressing a little bit higher on, or actually quite high on Belconnen's back line now, wanting to put them under pressure and see if they can nab an early goal in the second half, just like they did in the first half.
Clark swings it forwards. Agnew gets there ahead of Osmond. Brown. McGovern. His Fields turns away from Thornton. Looks for Chow. Up against Catherine Brown. Sharon Chow. Drops the shoulder, but Brown was having none of that. Price. Osmond. Confident.
Mature play there by Osmond, finding the feet of Jessie Rushart to switch the point of attack.
McGovern's touch finds Woodman. Thornton. Here's Clark.
Nothing surer than a Karen Woodman long ball.
Karen Clark.
Sorry, Karen Clark, yeah, what am I saying?
Getting her mixed up with Katie Woodman. Rushart finds Thornton. Price looking to slide it through. Better start to the second half of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, better communication there from Rhiannon Fensom as well with her goalkeeper. I think that would have been a key point that Nick Brosnich spoke to his team about in the half-time break. Just a little bit more communication, particularly in the back line.
Started the second half well. The Blue Devils in the early stages. McGovern looks for Osmond. Brown outside. Osmond just ignores the overlap and goes herself. Finds its way to Ryan. Away from Palumbi. Fitz his shot goalwards. It's going to dip right in front of Hinson, who needed to be alert. Brown was sniffing for the pieces. Much brighter start though from Belconnen, confident.
Absolutely. They're on the hunt. Osmond here on the ball. She's getting a lot of coaching from Kayla Day out there. I think the main factor for her is confidence. So that the wiser, older heads out there trying to back her, tell her back herself, go with the ball, attack the space. You've been put on this field for a reason.
Clark looks for the run of Osmond. Held up in the wind there, you can see it as Agnew now stabs it forward. Rushart, rather unorthodoxly, gets it forward, and there's a chase on here for Chow up against Brown.
Yes, that wind is probably about twice as strong as it was in the first half, so I think it'll be a factor in this second half.
You can certainly feel it here. Osmond. Thornton. Brown looks a much more confident Blue Devils team that started this second half, notwithstanding that misplaced pass.
Yeah, they're knocking the ball around a lot more freely, 1 and 2 touch passes.
Agnew goes long, Brown wins the header. Might fall for Chow though. Rashart. Good win Berkeley, but it's only fallen for Thornton and Ryan. Trying to stretch the legs, but the ball will be there out of play.
Interesting to see Jazz Maguire playing out there on the right wing, coming into an inverted position, quite narrow on the pitch, looking to create a wide space for Vanessa Ryan to run onto.
Well, Nick Brosnich's team have the advantage. Ryan wins the header. Haven't seen Canberra Croatia as an attacking force at all in the first 6 minutes of the second half. Grace Gill looking to change all that though. There's usually very little between these two teams. There's usually very little in terms of results. Mentioned the games last year. It was a 0-0 here, 0-0 in round 1, and 1-0 here in round 10. Maddie Whittle with the winning goal in that one.
And of course, we had the grand final here last year between the same two teams, which seemed to have gone about 300 years long. It was the game that you felt might never end, but you didn't want it to. It was such a fantastic spectacle.
And in between times, we had the Federation Cup semi-final and a qualifying final, which Belco won 2-0. Unbeaten against Canberra Croatia last year in 5 matches. Going the way of Canberra Croatia at the moment, though. Just a bit of a lull. The ground's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it, from both sets of supporters, and I think they're just taking in the new temperature change.
Yeah.
There was a bit of snow on the hills this morning.
Yeah, it's too cold to talk, Russ, but that's not going to help us very much.
That's what we're here for. If you're watching at home and you're nice and warm, well, good on you.
If you're at home watching from Queensland, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, that's just taking the mick. Fensom. It's going to bounce for Fields, who flicks it on, but there's no one there. And Clark, lazy swing of the left boot. Fensom with a header. Churchill. Berkeley helped it on its way to Palumbi. Scrappy opening to the second stanza.
Yeah, the ball's been stuck here in the middle third for a good 2 minutes.
Brown needs someone to put their foot on it and really take control. Churchill. Gill. Hefty touch from McLaughlin. It was fizz back at her from Grace Gill.
The ball's changed possession a few times in that last 2 to 3 minutes, and as a result, both teams have been quite compact in the middle of the park. Neither team transitioning to a wide position and opening up their attack.
Agnew stretching away from Osmond. Finds Grace Field. Agnew again. Chow. And then Agnew didn't go for the return ball. Don't think she expected Sharon Chow to come out of the challenge with it, to be fair.
You'd have to say that's a missed opportunity. Receiving the ball that deep, that close to the goal line would have been a real chance for Canberra Croatia.
Clark. Straight down the middle. Fensom. Chow to Agnew. Hagen. Agnew back to Fenson. That's held up in the wind again, and we'll give Sharon Chow some encouragement, but Catherine Brown was there and it's come off the side of the boot.
Mia McGovern's doing quite a good job here, putting pressure on the Canberra Croatia backline.
She's done exactly that just then, and she's managed to win the ball away from Rhiannon Fenson briefly, but then concedes the foul.
Wasn't sure if the referee was going to reach into her pocket. That was a pretty bad challenge.
Threatened to, didn't she? It was a very clumsy challenge through the back of Lara Agnew. Chance for Fensom to send it forward. Looking for Grace Field, who's made an intelligent run. Clark's there, though. Really hasn't come of age at the moment, has it? Free kick again. It's been a slow start to the half for Canberra Croatia. The first card of the final. It's a yellow card for Michaela Thornton for that challenge on Grace Gill. News of a potential sub coming up there?
Yeah, look, we've got a little bit of a message from Jeremy McGann on the sideline that Kira Bobbin looks like she might be preparing to come in for Belconnen. Not sure who she's looking to replace at this point, but she's warming up on the sidelines over there.
Most of the front three have been pretty quiet, haven't they? So could be a change, extra firepower. In the meantime, though, the Blue Devils need to defend. Brittany Palumbi over the free kick, looking to turn provider. On this occasion, swings it in. It's going to be short, though, and Brown just stabs it away to Hagan. Chance for Palumbi to get it back into the penalty area, taunting Thornton. Got away from Thornton as well. Onto that left foot and swings it in. It's a real chance at the far post, and Jamie Berkeley has got it all wrong. Came in on it, and it looked for a moment like she was going to have a free header, a goal.
Brittany Palumbi did a beautiful job there. She beat Michaela Thornton with the ball, and that's not something you do often. Michaela Thornton, being a futsal player, a very good futsal player, is very good in those close-in challenges, and that little curved ball in was beautiful by Palumbi.
Clark sent it forward. McGovern was a willing runner again. Put a shift in this afternoon, Mia McGovern, as she does most games.
Yeah, she's had an unusual season, not always in the starting 11, but she certainly put her stamp on the game today.
Osmond swings one goalwards. It's tipping. Hinson needs to be aware. That would have been interesting if he'd been on target.
I'm not sure Hinson was completely aware of where that ball was flying in respect to her goal. She looked a little bit worried about it. It didn't look quite on target.
Good to see the youngster with a confident effort. Osmond trying her luck from range. 12 minutes of the second half gone. The second half in which Canberra Croatia haven't yet got going. Palumbi finds Churchill. Gill looking to change that. Katie Woodman charging down the attempted ball forwards. Well, whatever Ahmed Ugal asked of his team at the break, and it probably was to be a bit more controlled in possession, they're doing exactly that. Thornton on Gill. Has to be careful here, Michaela Thornton, having received that yellow card.
Yeah, I think Michaela Thornton leaves the field. That it's going to be very hard for Belconnen to take the reins on this match.
Hagan finds Chow, looks to find Grace Field, who might be in here. Grace Field in on goal, Field lifted, and Giovinazzo stands tall and needed to.
Fantastic, strong hands there by Giovinazzo.
McGovern flicks it on and then runs into the back of Fensom.
The game's opening up just a little bit here, Russ. It's starting to be a bit of a box-to-box match.
Mistake between Brown and Thornton, and it finds its way to Grace Gill. Couldn't get it through the narrowest of gaps. Little nutmeg there from Brown. McGovern steps away from Fenson and sweeps the ball across field. It's going to find its way to Ryan if she can keep it in, but it will bounce out of play. But good opportunity that for Grace Field.
Yeah, that was a very good opportunity, and Giovinazzo did just enough to put the ball in her hands. Well, what a story that would have been. It would have been hard for Belconnen to come back because I don't feel like they're controlling this game like they normally do.
Kira Bobbin on then for Jazz Maguire, who had a frustrating afternoon as the sun comes out. Very welcome. Warmth on your back there.
That's an unusual feeling. It's warm.
If that can just stay out for the rest of the day, that would be quite pleasant for us up here then. And for the players, no doubt, as well. Thornton, forced backwards. Good to see Giovinazzo standing strong with that one, though, wasn't it, after the error for the goal.
Yeah, that'll boost her confidence.
Clark lifts it forward. Thornton's there. Can only nod it down for Agnew.
Belconnen are obviously looking a lot to improve their chances using wide overloads in the second half. They didn't do a good job of that in the first half.
Here goes Agnew, running at Jesse Rashards and slipping at the inopportune moments. Price sends it away. That's asking a lot of Brown to get back there, but she's done well. Catherine Brown done very well. McGovern, nice take in, and Price has made the run down the little bobbins there. Was her first touch. Ball rather hits her on the back. Ryan. Bobbin. Ryan wants a return, couldn't quite get there. 20 goals in 32 games for Kira Bobbin, so it's a good strike rate.
Yeah, that's not a bad substitution to bring on at this time in a grand final. You want people who can score goals.
And a lot of pace as well. So maybe she will trouble Alice Churchill.
Yeah, look, I think the only part of the field where Canberra Croatia have looked a little bit shaky at times today have been their centre backs. So, you know, what you'd be wanting to do if you're Ahmed Ugal is putting them under even more pressure, try and break the confidence down, force a mistake.
Despite a better second half, they're yet to really test Ali Hinson. Half an hour to go. Palumbi. Tracking back to help out was Bobbin. Ryan. Palumbi bites into the challenge and then beautifully steps away, but couldn't keep it in.
She's cheeky. She's cheeky with those turns. Britt Palumbi. They come across. She wins them so many times. She was unlucky on that occasion.
Ryan finds Woodman. Field steps in. Can Canberra Croatia string together some meaningful passes? Hagan to Fenson. McGovern not giving her a moment's peace. Osman back into that same area, and there is McGovern challenging with Field, and that might well be a throw if it goes out. It's going to stay in with the wind, and Fenson can go back to Hinton to start again, but it's been a much better second half from Belconnen. As the wind picks up again. Fenson. Agnew. Chow. And that's a run away from Grace Field. If you're Nick Brozanic, Sarah, is he a little bit worried with the way the pattern of this game is emerging at the moment?
Oh yeah, this game is definitely not over. You get the sense that Belconnen, all it's going to take is one lapse in concentration from the Canberra Croatia backline, and Belconnen will be in the back of the net. So if I'm Nick Brozanic, I'm getting quite nervous at this point. What you want to be doing is putting another goal in the back of the net pretty soon, so you can increase the lead to 2.
Hagan tried to find the run of Churchill, but Bobbin stuck a leg in the way. Just a reminder, at 6 o'clock tonight, Canberra Croatia versus Gungahlin United, the men's NPL Grand Final. You can join myself and Frank Casher from 5:30 for the build-up for that one, and Matt Nicoletti will be bringing you exclusive chats with some of the coaching staff from both teams in the lead-up to the men's NPL Grand Final. 6 p.m. kickoff there. 26 minutes or so to go here. Berkeley looks for Hagan. Osman back, tracking, helping out defensively. Field. Churchill. Berkeley had the chance with a header in Canberra Croatia's best move of the second half, before Grace Field went in on goal and saw her effort blocked by Giovinazzo. Fensom's ball wide. Finds Agnew. Came off her knees, but she's come away with it. Couldn't get past Price though.
Osman did a good job then, using her physicality to just put Agnew off the ball a little bit.
Here is Agnew. Gill. Agnew. Field. Agnew. Field again, looking for an opening. Gill. Happy to keep the ball, Canberra Croatia here. Invite Belconnen to come to them. Agnew again, little triangles. And Brown prods it away, but it's going to fall for Chow. Leaves it for Berkeley. Was a little bit surprised, I think. It might fall for Palumbi. Clark comes away and sends it forward. Again, McGovern will chase. Again, Fensom is back there, and McGovern has it for the Blue Devils. Brown tries to stretch to get away from Grace Gill. It falls for Osmond, and she brings Michaela Thornton into play. Vanessa Ryan providing the overlap. Kira Bobbin is one more out to the right if she wants to go there for Ryan. Takes on Churchill herself.
Yes, Rhiannon Fensom, she's been pretty good when Mia McGovern's been running at her. She still has remained fairly solid. It's when the balls have been getting in behind that there's been a threat from Belconnen. What you'd be probably looking to do is try and play through the lines a bit more rather than to play his feet in the forward line.
Well, you certainly think it's been a better second half for Belconnen than it was in the first 45. McGovern, they need to create that one opening, don't they? They're really fashion that chance that they haven't.
Yeah, I think, as I said, balls through the lines or maybe in over the top and create a foot race, because one thing you've got as an advantage in Belconnen is those fast players who can probably beat any of Canberra Croatia's players on a through ball. But it's definitely been an interesting battle. We never really thought that Canberra Croatia was the team that had the strongest backline, but so far they haven't put a foot wrong enough to have conceded a goal.
Churchill swings it to Gill. She's won the free kick. Rashard just a little too tight. A relieving free kick as well, and it'll be a chance for Brittany Palumbi with the wind behind her to drop this into a really dangerous position. Grace Gill, she's copped a bit this afternoon, hasn't she?
She certainly has, and she's had a few words to say to the referee in this match. I think she's getting touched up a little bit in the middle of the field there.
Palumbi over the free kick. Lifts it into a danger area towards Chow. Clark was through the back of her. It might fall for Field, who chips it goalwards.
Ooh.
Just over the top. The fairly hefty challenge on Sharon Chow amongst all that as well.
Yeah, you can see with these high balls how the ball's just hanging in the air for a few moments. The wind is having an actual effect on this game.
It's having an effect on us, isn't it?
It certainly is, Russ Gibbs. It certainly is.
We've been in some cold ones this year, but this one is well up there with them, and you wouldn't expect it this time of year. Brown gets away from Berkeley. Churchill has it. Looks for Grace Gill. Clark was there. Woodman finds Price. Ryan. And there goes Kira Bobbin. Sliding across with the firm challenge.
Very good challenge.
Alice Churchill. Amy McLaughlin. Apologies. That's asked a lot of Thornton. Jerry McGann first with the scoops. Maria Pachi going to join us after playing 90 minutes in the reserves this morning, so let's hope she's warmed down and warmed up sufficiently.
Yeah, it's not easy for a player to go out there and fire up the engine for 90 minutes, have a few hours off, and then come into cold conditions like this. So it'll be interesting to see if she can come in and switch on straight away.
Ryan to Bobbin. Gill holds it up nicely. Rashard's never too far away from Grace Gill. Fensom. Grace Field. Now there's some room for Field to work. Picks out Agnew. Osmond back in there and does well, the young winger, to get a foot on it. Brown. McGovern. Always an outlet. Looks for Bobbin over the top, and Churchill needs to be alert to the threat. And Bobbin's robbed her. And a chance for the Blue Devils. Not much in support at the moment. Numbers arriving now. If Bobbin can get away from Churchill and get something into the penalty area towards McGovern. Opportunity here for Belconnen. It's Thornton. She goes down and picks herself up. Thornton, can she get the shot away? She can't. And it's come off of Michaela Thornton, but that was an opening.
Yeah, that was good work there by Rhiannon Fensom. If she'd gotten there a moment later, I think Michaela Thornton, a player of her experience, might have put it in the back of the net.
She was teeing one up, wasn't she?
She did well to get the trip in there, get up and retain possession of the ball in the 18-yard box.
Wouldn't sit for her. Meanwhile, Maria Paci will join us. The second Belconnen substitution. And it's Katie Woodman making way. 8th appearance of the season for Maria Paci, all of them from the substitutes bench.
Yeah, all these decisions that we're seeing from Ahmed Ogle with Belconnen show that he's got confidence in his players, no matter how experienced and mature they are. That's it's a great thing for a coach to have a bench that deep.
Chow, ball stuck under her feet, and she's presented it to McGovern. Thornton looks for Brown. It's a good ball too. Now Brown's onside. Can she fizz something across? Chance for Price. And win for this volley. Didn't connect properly, and she's furious.
She's not happy with herself. Imagine that. That would have been a goal to be spoken, for the next decade. But it wasn't to be.
Yeah, she volleys that in the top corner. She's off and running and probably not coming back.
No, Catherine Brown's looking a lot more dangerous on the left-hand side out here now. They're using that wide overload. Sharon Shaw wasn't really sure whether to go with her and didn't get to her in time.
As Alex Ferguson would say, it's squeaky bum time. 20 minutes to go. Belconnen looking for an equaliser. Canberra Croatia looking to hold on and win their first grand final since 2017.
Yes, now if I was Nick Brosnich, I would be very nervous.
It's now caught between that rock and a hard place. Does he stick or does he twist?
I think sometimes it's harder to be the coach with the team who has the lead. Belconnen have nothing to lose. They can take some risks here, but Canberra Croatia, they need to be disciplined.
Sooner or later, though, they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at it, aren't they?
That's right.
You might as well lose 2 or 3 than 1 in a grand final.
Oh, there's nothing more frightening than seeing Belconnen with all fires burning either.
Fensom swings it forward. Brown meets it. Field. Fensom again, who settled after that nervy start. First 15-20 minutes or so, she was a bit stuttery, but since then, usual self.
Right, yeah, look, she's been so solid all season and she's probably due for a few nervy moments. Unfortunately, it's happened in the grand final, but luckily it didn't cost her team anything.
Not yet, at any rate. Rashart looking for the ball down the line. Churchill was there, and Palumbi, whose goal seems a long time ago now. Remember you saying after she scored after 7 minutes, we expected her to kick on it. She hasn't really had the opportunities, has she?
No.
It's almost as if once they went 1-0 up, they've got this mental image of sitting back and just going, well, we're in the lead.
Yeah, Palombi's range sort of extends just above the 18-yard box, and Belconnen have done a really good job at forcing her to shoot from wider out.
And here she is, looking to take on Rashart. Wanting support. She got past Rashart, and was there a little shirt?
Oh, was that in the box?
I think it was just outside.
Oh.
But with this wind and a left footer, maybe a right footer.
I'd love to see a replay of that, Russ. It looked pretty close to the box to me.
They placed it about half a yard outside. Grace Gill over the top of it, and Grace Gill from this angle with the right foot. This could be problems for Belconnen United. We've hardly seen Canberra Croatia as an attacking force in this second half. But here's a chance to maybe stamp their mark. Quarter of an hour or so to go. Gill over it. Dips it goalwards, and again it's in! Grace Gill stands up tall when counted, and it's a goal that might mean the grand final glory goes to Canberra Croatia. It's double trouble for the Blue Devils. It's Canberra Croatia 2, Belconnen 0.
Well done, Grace Gill. She's certainly put in a shift for Canberra Croatia over the years. She's been so strong for them this year. Her experience has counted for so much, and it was a clever free kick. I mean, she's kicking into the wind. The ball has curved around. Just impossible for the keeper to get her hands on. Well done, Grace Gill. 2
set pieces, 2 goals. It's what separates the teams. The Blue Devils have brought on Nina Zaravac for Maya Osmonds. Last throw of the dice for Ahmed Ugal. Can the young striker, who's bagged a couple of goals off the bench this season. 2 goals for Zaravac. But it's a long way back now. It's almost identical. 2 free kicks, 2 goals. First Palumbi, then Gill. The left foot, right foot combination. The sucker punch.
Yeah, watch Belconnen throw everything they have at this game now. They're going to start taking risks, and this is the most dangerous period of a game for Canberra Croatia. We've talked before about how a 2-0 lead is the most dangerous lead for a team. So often other teams come back.
Feel looking to add to it.
But the momentum is definitely with Canberra Croatia.
Giovinazzo, will she be questioning herself again around that one, or do you think that one's a bit harder?
Look, I think with the ball swirling around in the wind and that curl on it from Grace Gill, that would have been a hard one for any goalkeeper to stop.
Grace Gill on the score sheet for the 9th time this season in 10 games.
Didn't she enjoy that celebration too, Ross Gibbs? Doesn't matter how many she scored and at what level of football, she still enjoys it. She's a real competitor.
72 times now she's found the back of the net in the NPL in 127 matches. One of the big characters of the game here in Canberra. One of the inaugural members of the Canberra United W League team as well. If you remember all the way back there, she was a poster girl in season 1.
Right.
When they did their Westfield shopping centres.
And now an experienced member of your commentary team in the W League, Russ.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be lining up with Grace Gill and the W League for Fox Sports again this year when they decide to release a fixture list.
Yeah, when we have a W League, Russ.
February or March maybe next year is fingers crossed. We're all hoping to see some action.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, although the W League will be filled with a lot of NPLW players. We haven't seen W League in winter for a few seasons, so it'll be different for the fans.
That'd be great for us in the commentary box as well.
Yeah.
Freezing cold again.
Absolutely.
Quite like the summer commentary.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because usually we see the level of competition a little bit, a little bit different when it's not hot and the players aren't battling with that extreme heat.
With the lack, of course, of overseas players this year as well, real opportunity for some local talent to stand up and make themselves counted. Kira Bobbin looking to do that here for Belconnen, swings it in, and there's Fensom perfectly positioned for the corner. Under quarter of an hour to go.
I don't think Fensom will be happy that she conceded the corner there. She probably had enough time to see it out forward or over the sideline. Lucky not to put it back towards her own goal.
Catherine Brown will jog across to take. Belconnen need a response, and they need one sooner rather than later if they're to get themselves back into this.
Canberra Croatia really don't want to concede here. If they concede here, then that will really switch the run of play.
Brown swings it in. McGovern climbs. Fensom, I think it was, who won it. The free kick goes to Canberra Croatia.
Yeah, Fensom's so strong in the air, has been all season. She's not the tallest player out there, but she seems to win every aerial battle.
Physicality helps, doesn't it?
Certainly does. As I said earlier in the call, she's not a player you'd ever want to come against 1v1.
Canberra Croatia with the change here. Sharon Chow coming off, Jordan Oider coming on. 10th time we've seen Jordan Oider this season, 7th time as a substitute. We did the game here, remember earlier in the season when it was 1-0 and Grace Gill and Gracefield were trying to keep the ball in the corner and Geordie Oider was looking for a second.
Yeah, she had a really good game last time they played Belconnen, and I must say Sharon Chow, she hasn't gotten on the score sheet today, but she's been certainly putting pressure on the back line, and I think she's had a really strong game, replicating her really strong season. Good
work rate across the front line for both teams, to be fair. Here's Grace Gill. Palumbi tries to get away. Free kick has gone the way of Canberra Croatia.
And the crowd not as quiet as it was before, Russ. I think the home side's crowd is sensing a victory here, and they've turned up the volume a little bit.
Just over 10 minutes to go. Palumbi steps away from the challenge, couldn't keep it in play. Geordie Oider would be disappointed because she was looking to get on the end of that one.
Nothing better than seeing a substitution in the last 10 minutes come on and have an instant impact on a game.
Well, the free kick's been given here. I think there must have been a clip of the heels of Brittany Palumbi as she went past before the ball went out of play. It's a chance for Canberra Croatia Interestingly, only Gracefield and Jordan Oida in the penalty area. Palumbi goes short to Gill. Steps away nicely and then lofts one towards the far post. It wasn't a bad ball, really, but there was nobody in a red shirt within half a postcode of that one.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Grace Gill hit that quite the way she wanted to, but clearly she recognised how hard it is in this wind for keepers to track that high ball.
McLaughlin shins it wide. Sliced it rather. Churchill happy to send it out of play. Nick Brosnich pacing the technical area like a caged tiger at the moment. We've got 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Fence them in the penalty area. Palumbi misses her header completely.
And you can see Canberra, Croatia, now they know it's theirs to lose. Just about their entire team is behind the ball. The only person's holding up in a high position is Grace Gill.
And I'm sure that's her experience there. She's sent everybody else back. No, I'll be the one that holds it up.
Typical strikers mentality. I'll just stay here.
I got it. Churchill sees it out, gets the throw. Palumbi given time to turn and wins the throw off of Vanessa Ryan. Eats up a valuable few seconds. Hagen. Oida. Gill. Directing operations like a conductor does an orchestra.
Ooh.
Oida challenging with Ryan.
Taken out pretty strongly there.
Patchy was back there. Here's Bobbin. She's got pace now. Chases after her own through ball. And McLaughlin is able to tidy up.
Yeah, look, they might not have put points on the board yet, but Kira Bobbin certainly has made an impact since she came on. Her pace has certainly given Canberra Croatia's backline something to think about.
Volley clear. Palumbi has it. Doing our own little jig here on the on the commentary position, are we? Trying to keep your blood circulating through the feet.
Keep the blood flowing, the teeth from chattering.
Thornton. Interesting ball back towards Brown, and Gill might be in here. And she's got the strength with Catherine Brown, but Catherine Brown is also incredibly strong and holds off Grace Gill.
Well done, Catherine Brown.
Good bit of defending that. Credit where credit's due. Here's Ryan. We're into the final 8 minutes. Churchill's header. Hagen. Been neat and tidy and industrious in midfield, as she always is.
She's just got such a high work rate, Krista Hagen, and you know, you don't often say her name. She doesn't do these remarkable things, but she's always there. She's so reliable and she's always putting in a shift.
Helps it tick over, doesn't she? Just keeps it going. Volley clear by Churchill. Oida. Here is Hagen. Palumbi. Thornton's back doing the defensive work. We can see that Jessie Rashart's made her way forward as well. Brown aiming for Rashart.
That would explain why Catherine Brown's moved into centre back.
Yeah, playing as an auxiliary striker at the moment, Jessie Rashart. As that wind picks up, you might be able to hear it on the effects mic just howling around us here. Might be quite warm at ground level, but we feel like we're in the upper echelons here. Could be worse, we could be a hawker.
Yeah, although the corner flags are certainly blowing, so I'm sure the players are feeling it on their sweaty skin. It must be freezing. That's just why players in Canberra are so tough.
Lara Agnew is going off. She's had a good game today. And here comes Cecilia Martic. On in the grand final, 2-0 up, her 50th NPL appearance today. So congratulations for Cecilia Martic. She'll be disappointed not to have started, but that's a big milestone as well. And what a day to bring it up.
Yeah, and look, just again showing that both of these teams have depth on their bench. You know, when you can bring on players like Cecilia Martic at this time in a grand final, you're doing pretty well.
Ryan. couldn't squeeze it in. Churchill sends it away. McLaughlin sends it away. Bobbin returns it. Fensom nods it out. Hagan clips it forward. Thornton has it. Brown looks for Rashart. Oider's back there doing some defensive work.
That was well done by Oider.
Urgency for Belconnen United.
You can see Belconnen are doing everything they can to get the ball to Jessie Rashart. Try and use her experience, see if she can get a goal in the last minutes.
Fensom sends it up the park. Clark hooks it straight back. There's Fensom again. Thornton. Gill and Field around her. Clark. Fensom once more for the third time in quick succession. Finds Field. Oider. A little bit of space for Jordan Oider. Heads towards the corner. She's learned something from the first game of the season. Brown robs her though. Sends that forward. It's a decent looking ball as well. Now here's a chance. McLaughlin needs to be careful.
Oh.
Sends it back. Hinson's there. Took a nasty little bobble before she kicked it clear, didn't it? Ryan. Into the final 5 minutes. Churchill can't squeeze it past Ryan. McLaughlin. Safety first for Canberra, Croatia. Leah Carnegie's coming on for Sam Price, the fourth change for Belconnen United. All their outfield players used now. Now or never, you would think.
That's it.
They need
Carnegie, another one who can score goals. So Belconnen are doing everything they can.
Here's Bobbin in a dangerous position. Can she twist and turn and get a cross in? Managed to win her team a throw-in. For Belconnen United, this clock will be going rapidly. For Canberra, Croatia, it will be the slowest thing they've ever seen.
Absolutely. Nick Brosnich doesn't look calm on the sidelines over there.
In towards Rashard. The bounce is going to find real chance for Carnegie. First touch. Couldn't find a way past Hinson. Perhaps should. Was that the moment?
I think it was. And, it has been a story of missed chances for Belconnen too. They've had a few and they just haven't been able to put the points on the board.
The old cliche of perhaps falling to a player too soon since they've come on. Brown. Raking ball forwards over the head of McLaughlin, but Churchill is back there covering. Immediately McGovern and Bobbin try and close it down, and she'll concede the throw.
At any time when any of these Canberra Croatia players receive the ball in the back line, they've got two Belconnen players quickly coming towards them, so the pressure is on.
Clark finds Brown. No doubt this will go forwards and look for a blue shirt. Lifts it into the danger area. Rashard was there. Good clearing header by Martic. That's why Brosnich has brought her on. Adds an extra bit of height in there too.
Right, it was a nice ball by Catherine Brown too. Just the right amount of backspin to have it hang in the air for a little bit.
Bobbin. It's been a good battle with Alice Churchill since she's come on. Now a chance for Karen Clark to launch this into the penalty area. As you'd expect, Belconnen flood the box. Clark, long throw towards Rashart. It's going to fall here for Apache perhaps. Couldn't get a touch on it, and here come Canberra, Croatia with Berkeley. Zarovac putting her under pressure. Ryan got a toe in. Into the final 2 minutes. Time ticking away. Martic with the throw. His field. Using all of experience to try and eat up some time. Patchy snaps into the tackle there at the expense of a throw. Every second that ticks by is a second closer for Canberra, Croatia. They'll be looking for the double today. The men in action at 6 o'clock against Gungahlin United. Right now, though, it's all about their women's team looking to go 10 for 10. Palumbi. Thornton wins it at the expense of a free kick against Brittany Palumbi. And a chance for Belconnen again to chuck everybody forward. And they'll need to do it and do it fast if they're to get something from this. 60 seconds plus stoppage time They need 2 goals. They need a minor miracle. Clark launches one up towards the edge of there. Fensom, solid header, as you would expect. Ryan needs to load this into the penalty area if she can. Past the first challenge, can't get past the ever dependable Alice Churchill. Clark sprinting across to again send this throw into the penalty area. Everybody in a blue shirt in and around the box except for Catherine Brown.
Absolute tall order for Belconnen now. They need to put 2 goals in the back of the net with only 15 seconds left to play of regular time.
Churchill wins a header. Bobbin nods it back down. McGovern was in there as well, and she couldn't keep it in play. Mia McGovern, who's worked tirelessly through the middle today, asked to do the number 9 role. And we're into stoppage time at the end of 90 minutes. And Nick Brosnich still pacing around. He's still not convinced.
Oh, dear.
Is there something for Belconnen to cling to? That's sent forward. Grace Gill will chase it.
Nick Brosnich is imploring his backline to push up. Don't let Belconnen have any more time in front of their own goal.
We're at the mercy now of what Delphina Demoski and her team wants to add on at the end of 90 minutes. And it'll be a couple, obviously. I think we usually play about 93 these days anyway, don't we?
Yeah. It's like that mandatory extra 3 minutes.
Churchill with the throw. Looks for Palumbi in the corner. She started it with the free kick. What's happened here? Is it another free kick or is it a throw?
I think it's a free kick.
Well, Grace Gill and Brittany Palumbi over it. Probably guessing this isn't going into the penalty area.
Well, there's not much over this side from Canberra, Croatia, looking to get a head on.
Gill looks for Palumbi, right in the corner. Belconnen snapping in, looking to try and get the ball back. Grace Gill, one of the strongest players in the women's game, with back to goal. It's looking like it's going to be Canberra Croatia's day, and they struck while the iron's hot, didn't they? They needed to score, and it's taken a couple of set pieces to do it.
This is the story of redemption that Nick Brosnich and Canberra Croatia have been gunning for all season. Lost in extra time in the grand final last year. Looks like they may have done it this year.
They have a corner, and you can see what they're going to do with it. Jordan Oiders, the only player in the penalty area in a red shirt. Palumbi goes short with Gill. Again, it's a bit of a scramble in the corner. All it gets a bit messy when they do this. Can't blame them, though.
Yeah, so we saw this quite a lot in the W League last year with teams playing out the last 3 or 4 minutes in the corner of the field.
Look at the watch from Delphina Demoski. Churchill again with a throw. And that'll do. It's a foul throw, in fact.
No. Don't see that very often, especially in the upper echelons of football.
Gill has it. Free kick to Canberra, Croatia. Thornton with the foul. Treading a very thin line there. Again, another free kick, and again, Jordan Oiders wandered into the box, hopefully.
You know, Belconnen doing everything they can to get the ball out of this corner of the field.
And seemed to be stuck down there for an eternity. Gill has it.
There we go.
Redemption for Canberra, Croatia. 12 months ago, they were beaten with virtually the last kick of the game. Now they're a perfect 10. 10 games, 10 wins, grand final glory to go with their league championships. 2 set pieces, Brittany Palumbi and Grace Gill. And it's those in red who are celebrating. And Sarah West, you can't begrudge them. It's been the perfect season.
Oh, absolutely it has. And look how much this means to them. They're absolutely ecstatic over that win. For a team that's been in the grand final for so many years, to take the win this year against Belconnen. Belconnen, it's a different story. Look, they're a team that's not used to losing, and this is going to be a hard one for them to overcome and come back next season, but I believe they will. Oh, look, 10 from 10 for Canberra Croatia this season. They've had the momentum. They started slowly. It wasn't great. Got the points when they needed to, but here they are, winners of the grand final in 2020.
Can't ask for any more than what they got. It has been a game which they dominated in terms of possession for most of it, after they went ahead 6 minutes through Brittany Palumbi's free kick. Then they had that spell at the start of the second half. It was mostly Belconnen. They had their chances, or the half chances, but when it came to the crunch, Grace Gill stood up and scored again from a free kick. And I guess credit to Belconnen that it was 2 set pieces that broke them down in the end.
Yeah, look, there was no goals in open play today. Both teams did a really good job of preventing a lot of chances in open play. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for through balls from either team. Both backlines did their job. You know, Canberra Croatia probably looked a little bit more shaking than Belconnen at times in the backline, but coming back out in the second half, they rectified those problems. They looked strong, and now they're celebrating the spoils.
Thanks very much for your company this afternoon, Sarah. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you up here on the scaffolding here, and I hope we'll speak to you again sometime next season as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Look, for me, it's just so exciting to be watching that women's football is getting better and better and better, and you know, to be able to call with you, Russ, the most experienced member of our team. It's been a delight. Thanks for having me.
It's been great again here to watch the Women's National Premier League Grand Final here. As I said at the start of the broadcast, this is my 6th time doing Belconnen versus Canberra Croatia. Only the 2nd time that we've been able to say these words: Canberra Croatia Grand Final winners. Brittany Pullenby and Grace Field from the set pieces doing the damage. You can watch the presentation. Myself, I'm going to go and try and warm up with Sarah West. Thanks very much for tuning in. Join us at 5:30. Myself and Frank Keisha back for men's grand final action. Canberra Croatia looking for a men's and women's double. It's all about the Reds at the moment, though. They're going to get their trophy. It's finished. Canberra Croatia 2, Belconnen United 0.